I am fully committed at this point. So never again is no longer never again.
Good morning, everyone. Finally woke up with no winds, which is kind of a odd thing this time of the spring. But I got a mission today. There's a landing I've been eyeing up on the top of the farthest mountain that you can see on the horizon that I've been looking at for years. And I really want to go up and take a closer look at it and hopefully put down in it and kind of bag a new strip that I can name today. So that is the goal. Let's go find a new landing up on the top of a 8,000 foot mountain.
Okay. Let's get this prop exercised. On the first flight I mentioned that I had some pulsing. It seemed like there was just air bubbles in the oil. And as long as I make sure I exercise it 2 or 3 times, pretty good. Okay. Get lined up, make this takeoff happen. Alright, no ground loops this morning, even though I am wearing my Wearworthy Ground Loops t-shirt, which is my favorite t-shirt in a long time. You guys will have to check this out. It's a collaboration that Wearworthy and I are doing together for a limited shirt drop. Basically, we'll open orders for, I think we'll say a week. And after that, they're closed. We are going to make 2 orders. So if you order one of these, just understand you're going to have to be a little patient while we make them. But super cool shirt, part of an unbalanced breakfast. Okay, well, there's more wind up here already than expected. So we're just going to have to get up there and look. So basically, the mountain range in front of me, it kind of is almost on the state line of Nevada and California. I think the Nevada or the California state line's just on the far side. The range sits at right around 8,000 feet. This valley that I've been kind of eyeing down might be slightly below 8,000 feet. I have other landings I've made up here. One is Sucker Punch. I go there pretty regularly. That one plays all the time. And the reason I haven't been into this one is just it's in a kind of a lowered valley. And for one, the grass is pretty tall, so you don't really know if it's covering any rocks or anything like that. But also, it's going to require pretty much a immediate positive rate of climb to get out of there because it's sunken into this, weird little meadow valley up there. So we're just gonna have to look it through and see how we feel. Good news is it's pretty cold this morning. Outside air temp showing 37 degrees, which will help. We got a little thicker air than we would have on a summer day. But yeah, what we're gonna need to do is figure out which way the wind is coming from and if that works or fights against me for landing here. Okay, so I've done plenty of high observation or inspection passes. I kind of had pictured landing coming the other way, but my little box is telling me the wind's off my right wing, so this actually might be the way to do it. Let's see if it gets too nasty as I get in here. So basically, I've got a little meadow right in front of me, and wow, there's been a vehicle or maybe that's a game trail that rolls that way. So my thought is I could land in there and roll out into the brush if I need to. It does seem to be, I don't know, I think winds are calm. This is a beautiful little meadow though, man. In the summer, once the aspens are all green, it could be such a cool place to come up for a cool spot to camp. Like when I say cool, I mean low temperature. Because it does get pretty hot in the summer. Okay, let's do a wind pass right now. Which way am I going to turn? I'm going to just drop down right here. I'll make a big climbing left turn. That's virtually calm. It might be like a 2 mile an hour tailwind coming in this way, but I like the approach this way a little more. So I say we set up and do it. This is not, I'm not that worried, but there is always a little bit of a kind of pressure first time landing somewhere. Obviously I've looked at this one so many times that I'm not too worried. I'm just gonna try to land in that meadow portion. It'll shorten, or the grass portion. It will shorten my landing area a good little bit, but to me that's the safest bet. Maybe I'll short it just a little bit, and then we can get out and get a lay of the land. Okay. It's funny, there's a little trail through here that I thought was a car track, but I'm 90% sure you're not getting a car up here. I'm pretty sure that's a game trail, because it turns into a single track here. Okay, I am fully committed at this point. Perfect. There we are. Touchdown in a new spot. Now what are we at right now? About 7,600 feet. Awesome. Alright, I'm gonna jump out and walk this one out and get some photos of this.
Alright, and welcome to a new spot, 7,600 feet. Pretty cool. I don't know if you can tell behind me, but this the short grass that I landed in, it's one, pretty lumpy, but two, it's pretty short. Probably only gave myself 250, 300 feet. The big wing on the Cub is coming in handy, and the 35. So that's something that I keep getting asked, like, do you really need them? Or, you know, I've had a couple of people say I'm not a good enough pilot to need 35s. And the funny part is, to me, it's kind of the opposite, that the really good pilots don't need as big of tires. The tires are protection that allow you to get away with things like hitting rocks and stumps you might not have seen, or bigger dips, but they also extend runways. So it's kind of just like a safety factor for me. But yeah, this is cool. I think the last time I was out doing this kind of stuff for a YouTube video, I just checked, 2017, almost 8 years ago. So it's been a while since I've gone out just to land somewhere new and claim it. And so this range that I'm in is called the Peterson mountain range. So I'm just gonna call this Pete's, because I think this is a cool little spot to just kind of let be, because the Petersons, top of the Petersons. So here we get into a good amount of rocks, so that is good to know. It's kind of one of the spots that, as long as you stay in the lower part of the drainage, you're pretty safe, at least from what I'm seeing right now. And I touched down somewhere right at the start of this. I'll see if I can find my tracks. I kind of used this taller brush as my threshold. But yeah, actually it looks like I touched down right about here. So that's every bit of 300-400 feet. It's longer than I thought, but you can see right here, that looked like that was a car trail, but then it turns into a single track right here. So it must be a game trail. So I don't think there's any cars driving up here. Oh yeah, this thing plays. This is I would consider this big tire only, but oh my gosh, we've got well north of 1,000 feet here. The only thing is, you do have to make a fairly immediate positive rate of climb and get into a turn to go through the slot up there, because your takeoff direction is basically directly towards that mountain right there, that hill. So there is like kind of a need for a high performance aircraft up here. And while I say big tires are required, it's just because some of this dirt is pretty soft. Like, I wouldn't want to come up here on 850s, be taking off at high altitude, have the altitude and the soft dirt working against you. It's probably a safer one on big tires. And I'm gonna go ahead and mark this strip on SkyShare, which is on E3's website. And I guess I haven't really told you guys about E3 and my partnership with them, but for those of you that don't know, E3 Aviation Association is an online membership portal that is built as a resource for pilots and prospective pilots. Basically, they've got a ton of online content, everything from videos to podcasts to news articles. They do a bunch of cool, like, members only events, and they've got really good resources for connecting people with mentors, or if you're a pilot that's open to mentoring someone else. E3's got a really good platform for connecting people. They're calling that their Sky Hub. But the other thing that when I got brought on board as a small part owner and, you know, contributor to E3, was that I said I wanted to build a mapping system where users can go and map out their favorite landing sites. And so with that idea in mind, we created SkyShare, which is a pretty cool online map that everyone can go on and map out their favorite landing sites off airport, or maybe they can be just kind of like a backcountry strip. But the cool thing is it allows you to add like check boxes for other things you could do at those sites. So maybe there's a restaurant there, maybe there's good fishing, maybe there's camping or hiking. So basically, if you're someone like me that does off airport stuff or just looking to get into it, you can go on SkyShare, kind of filter through by difficulty level and the size tires you have, and what it is you're looking to do in the backcountry or in these off-airport environments, and can find all these cool landing sites that myself and others have been logging on there. So pretty cool thing. I'm excited to be working with E3 on this, and aside from just mapping out and giving away a lot of my locations, I will be on there for some, you know, live calls, and I'll probably be doing some unedited content that I don't think would work on the YouTube channel. That I can share on E3. The other thing I think I want to do is create a course on how to make flying videos. Again, I don't think that would work on the YouTube channel, but if any of you guys are interested in kind of a formal course on how to get into making flying YouTube content, let me know. Also, to any of you that are thinking of getting your pilot's license, I already made a course with E3 that kind of goes through everything that you might need to know to be prepared to be effective during your flight training, because I just found this out, but the problem these days with failure rates in students, which is very high, is not getting new students into the cockpit. It's keeping them there through check ride. A lot of students get in, they get overwhelmed. They find out maybe they had some limitation they weren't aware of at the start of their training. That's going to prohibit them from getting through training. So we assembled a fairly simple and easy list of things to be cognizant and prepared for that will save you a lot of time and therefore money, and hopefully prohibit you from failing out of your flight training. So if you're thinking of getting into flying, E3 is also worth it. But anyway, this strip 100% plays. It's longer than it needs to be. I could double or triple the little spot I landed in and have plenty of room. And carry on and see if we can land a few other places before the wind picks up.
Man, it's so cold. My headset cups are like frozen hard. It says 31 out. Okay, so what's my plan here? I think I don't want to line up to where I have to do too aggressive of a turn. That would not be good. But I do want to give myself as much extra space as I can get. So maybe I'll go over to this side. Get into the sagebrush just a little bit. Alright, so the good news is, if I have any problems on takeoff, I got all sorts of room that I can just shut it down and land straight in front of me. Once I'm airborne, I need to see both climbing airspeed and then a positive rate of climb right then after, so I can make an immediate right turn. I've got my takeoff roll intended center line in sight. I'm hoping I'll be off by the start of the sagebrush, but obviously I walked it, so I know I'm fine going farther than that. And right now I wish I had the new prop that Kato's working on for me, because that one's supposed to make way better takeoff performance. Interesting thing about this prop is it seems if I hold the brakes, let the engine build boost, and let off the brakes, the prop almost stalls. So it's as if I'm doing a burnout in a car, like I'm making a bunch of noise, but I'm not making thrust. So this thing seems to be happier when I just roll into it smoothly. And right about now, the turbo kicks in. And there we go. Oh man, that was a walk in the park. I love that I'm talking about drainages and I'm above the edges of the mountain before I even could get to the drainage. That was great. That was no problem. Heats plays any day of the week, as long as the wind is cooperating. So while we're up here, there's another spot that I landed at in that video I was talking about where I made, start of my YouTube channel, landing where no one has before, which was kind of a, I shouldn't make too much fun of it because it's basically what I just did, but kind of a squirrely thing to do as a lower hour pilot, new YouTuber looking for content. But one of the spots I landed is right in front of me. I'll see if I can do a low flight on it. I definitely have a tailwind up here, but it was calm on the ground. So we're gonna see if we get down in here, if it calms down at all. But basically, I landed in this meadow ahead of me, and I don't remember what I named it in the video, but I ended up, I'm gonna do some smoke really quick. I don't remember what I called it in the video, but later on, I changed the name to Never Again, because it scared me getting out of there with the 100 horse Rotax. It's definitely a slight tailwind, and that would be interesting landing downhill. We should set up and do a pass. But yeah, the last time I got landed in there, walked it out, and then realized, like, what did I do? And made myself pretty nervous, just because I was running a naturally aspirated 100 horse. So up here at altitude, especially, I don't think I had a constant speed prop, so I probably wasn't making full RPM. Another thing was probably only making 70 horsepower on takeoff, so that's a little bit of a pucker when you've got a short strip to get out of that's in a draw. That again, it doesn't require a positive rate of climb, but it does require a left turn almost immediately after takeoff, so that you can make it into the canyon. So this one, for, you know, what it was and when it was a lot for me. Grown a lot since then. Let's see what we got here. We definitely have a good headwind, which is making this great. I might just set this down. This feels so good. Boing, boing, boing. Awesome. So the downhill way was a little bit, like, I lost that headwind right on final. It seems like it's pretty calm on the ground. But yeah, made it in. So Never Again is no longer Never Again.
All right, here we are at Never Again, which now plays again, so I almost need to change the name, but I'm not going to. But super weird. The last spot I landed was maybe 1.5 miles or 2 miles that way, and no wind. And where we are here, there's a decent little wind, at least enough that with how cold it is, feels like a lot of wind. This is a pretty nice one, came in. I touched down a little long, somewhere right in here, but still rolled out fairly short. Fun little spot. I didn't check with the, we're at 75.20 is what my watch is telling me, so still fairly high elevation, so it's cool. Between where we just landed, Pete's here at Never Again, and then I've got Sucker Punch, which is just right, it's like a half mile from where I am now. Got 3 of these landings up on top of this mountain range that's less than a 4-minute flight from my house, which is pretty cool. Awesome little coffee spot, especially in the summer when you're trying to beat the heat, get up somewhere a little higher from the house, enjoy some views, even though I guess we could hike over to there, but these last 2 are kind of in a drainage to where there's not much of a view. But anyway, pretty cool spot. I'm gonna get a drone shot again and then get back in the plane because I am freezing.
Oh my gosh, that got cold fast. And that wind is picking up way quicker than I expected. I should check what it's doing in my house, because I know it's supposed to get windy today. Yeah, 7 gusting 12, but that is picking up so fast. I might want to get back there. So lately we've been having these pretty strong east winds that put me landing with like a tailwind, which is just not pleasant at the house, and I have yet to not be able to go into the house, but I don't want to keep pushing it. So maybe we'll take off and see if we can find anywhere else with less winds. Otherwise, maybe we'll just meander our way home. So seat heater is on full, or as Haley calls it, heat seater. The wind did pick up pretty good. It looks like it's a slight quartering headwind, but it does turn into the right quarter, like, well, it's a left quartering, but that's the correct direction for me to get out of here. We're all set takeoff wise. Again, it feels like I want to hold brakes, but I know that's just going to kill my takeoff. So we're going to let go of brakes, roll in smoothly, and then the turbo kicks, tail is up, and we're flying. And we're not going to aggressively climb because of choppy air. Build airspeed, follow the drainage, and we are golden. What a cool spot. Never again is no longer never again. Let's see if my little box will tell me what it's doing. Right now it doesn't have wind data. I can fairly confidently say it is coming from the north right now. Yeah, it's saying 13 miles an hour from 0 to 0. And then we have sucker punch up here, which you guys have all seen many times before. With the direction this wind is coming from, I don't have a great way of landing that. Although Bo has told me he lands going north-south up here, I feel like I know where he touches down. I guess I can do some inspections and see if that plays. I know all of that is rock. Man, that is long from that direction. Maybe we'll do another run at it. If it feels good, I know where the good news is we've all walked this so many times. When I say I know where the is, I mean the rocks are all in piles. We've created our own little rock cairns. For the most part, there aren't any hidden rocks that aren't in a bigger pile of rocks, which is a good safety buffer to have. Let's get this nice and stable and slow. Full flaps. And the touchdown to me is right next to that clump of brush rolling towards. I'm perfectly on heading right now. Okay. Yeah, that was a little downhill, and I used up some space. But that was cool. That was a cross-hill landing up here at Sucker Punch, which I've landed going eastbound is the steep uphill, and I've landed going westbound when there is a good west wind. It's like an aircraft carrier landing up here, which is super fun, but there's this line of white rocks, and if you short them, you're gonna rip your landing gear off. But when the wind is laminar and just consistent, smooth west wind, it totally plays, and it's really fun. Okay. Getting into some brush right here. I think I'm gonna turn around this one. Here goes. Awesome. And we might as well just drop it into this canyon. Pull that throttle back a little. My friend Cade is a speedwing flyer and pro paraglider pilot. And a long time ago, I was gonna take him up and run shuttle runs using the plane up here, where I basically would drop him and his girlfriend off with their speed wings. They would fly down, and then I'd come and land and pick them up at the bottom. But the day we went to do it, my Kit Fox threw its sprag clutch, which is the starter clutch, and it left me grounded for a while I waited on parts, so wasn't able to do it. I can feel like, I know you guys can't feel. I was gonna say, you can see how it's starting to swirl on me. Now it's showing 20 miles an hour off my left wing, which is gonna leave me with the crosswind for landing at the house. So, with that said, I'm gonna go and land at the house and probably call it for this morning and hope for less wind maybe later today or tomorrow. Yeah, it's still showing 17 miles an hour out of the north. It is funny that of all the places that I love landing most, my house is probably still my favorite because it still is a challenge. You know, it's fairly steep. It's not that short. I mean, it's 900 feet long almost. I treat it as a no-go around. There's power lines on approach. You don't want to short it because the terrain drops off, so you'd be smashing in pretty hard if you shorted it. So it always just kind of keeps you on your A game just to get home. But it's always so rewarding too, because it's like, you're home, you're landing at your house.
What's up, dude? I need to get you in the plane. You're the best at plane and car rides. Really, you're not so good. And no. All right, back safe and sound. I know it was a short morning. I just figured with the wind picking up and me being solo on the top of a 7,000 to 8,000 foot mountain, you know, no reason to push it. So, awesome little sunrise flight. And I gotta say, I'm impressed with that prop, considering that it's more of a cruise prop and less of a takeoff prop. I think it was doing great up there. It was pulling me. It's interesting that these engines feel like they do even better at altitude than they do at sea level, which makes no sense to me. But yeah, plane is running awesome. I'm actually due for my 3rd oil change already, which is crazy. I'm at about 80 hours in the plane, so I'm past due. But you know, I'm trying to think if there's anything I can update you guys on with the plane. I'm working on a kind of baggage area liner system out of foam just so things don't slide around. But other than that and the prop, it's pretty much my dream airplane. I've gotten a bunch of people that have written me that are kind of considering going with a Legend Nomad, asking if I'd change anything, and the short answer is no. I'm extremely happy with this plane, so very fortunate to be in the position that I am, that I was able to weasel my way into this awesome bird. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go get my morning coffee that I haven't had yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up here. You guys know the drill. Like this video if you do. Subscribe if you haven't. Come be my wingman. See you on the next one.